Good morning. Good morning. And welcome to the 2024 CCSD State of the Schools Address. I'm your Master of Ceremonies, Octavia Scott.
And I'm your Mistress of Ceremonies, Victoria Hickerson. We are thrilled to be with you today for this exciting event. Please rise for the presentation and posting of the colors by the R.B. Stall High School's Air Force JROTC.
Followed by the singing of the national anthem by the Ashley River Creative Arts Elementary Student Ensemble.
Say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, bruised by stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched.
Let's give another big hand for the R.B. Stall High School Air Force JROTC and the talented students of the Ashley River Creative Arts Elementary.
Next, it is our pleasure to introduce and welcome to the stage the Charleston County School of the Arts Theater Improv Group, the Gnomes, under the direction of Mr. George Yance.
Followed by the Pinehurst Elementary Chorus under the direction of Miss Lindsay Stone, performing the musical selection Born to Be Somebody.
Take it away, Gnomes!
Do what I do, not what I say. Put your hands up. Come on. Put your hands up. Do what I do, not what I say. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Do what I do, not what I say. Do what I do, not what I say. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Oh, come on, do what I do, not what I say. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Do what I do, not what I say. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 3, 1. Spread out. Hey, we're in the Charleston County School of the Arts Fighting Gnomes. We're an improv troupe, that's short for improvisation. We go out and do arts outreaches. Yesterday we were at Brighton Elementary School. Next week we'll be at Lands and Angel Oak. And we do 45 to 50-minute presentations and improv, basically talking about creativity, using some of our wonderful creative ideas, such as yes and accept and build. We're going to start over with Anna, because everyone wants to know who everyone is. Say your name and your class. Go.
Hi, I'm Anna and I'm a junior.
I'm Nicholas and I'm a junior.
I'm Victor and I'm a freshman.
I'm Troy and I'm a senior.
I'm Liv and I'm a senior.
I'm Gavin and I'm a senior.
I'm Miley and I'm a junior.
I'm Brody and I'm a sophomore.
I'm Hadley, and I'm a junior.
I'm Will, I'm a freshman.
I'm Luna, I'm a sophomore.
I'm Callum, I'm a sophomore.
Where's the mayor? Mayor, could you come on stage and help us? So good to meet you. Come on out, sir. We're going to use, you're going to go right down here, Mayor. Center stage. Here you go. Now, Mayor, we're going to get a suggestion from the audience for you. But before we do that, Mayor, when we do improv, we always make sure we take care of each other on stage. Because we don't know what's going to happen. You know what I mean? So therefore, we always improv's like flying a plane, except you're putting it together while you're flying it. You know what I'm saying? So one of the things we do before we begin is that we got each other's back. Do we have his back? They're going to have your back. Give us their best. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to get a multiple syllable word from the audience. Not cat, not dog. And if you raise your hand and I point to you, don't go, oh, because that's not what I want. I want a multiple syllable word, such as comrade. Do we have a multiple syllable word? No, raise your hand. Yes, right there. Typewriter. Now, Mayor, what's going to happen is that you're going to say the word typewriter, and you're going to start to form a sentence around you. In other words, words are going to come here, here. So it's like a word processing page, and we're going to repeat things. And you're going to have to say typewriter a couple times, because we're going to have this sentence form all around you to the magic of improv. So I need you, when you say typewriter, give me a little acting. Don't just go typewriter or something. Because you know what? They're going to mirror you and do your acting choice. You got it? Let's count it down in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Typewriter. Repeat there. Typewriter. Typewriter, he said it differently, and that's wonderful. You know, the acting, acting places, you know what I mean? You're like a person that has lots of characters. Anyway, so what's going to happen now? You're going to do it again, except whatever you start with, you're like, typewriter. Do it the same way every time, because they're all going to become that thing that you begin. You might go, typewriter, and then they're all going to become a version of that, okay? Hey, another 2-syllable word. Raise your hand. Yes, right there. What is it?
Dangerous. Dangerous.
Dangerous. And we'll see that in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Dangerous.
Is.
Dangerous.
Is my.
Dangerous.
Adventure. Is.
Repeat. Dangerous.
My. Danger.
Dangerous.
My. Adventure. Is.
Dangerous.
And
My.
mother.
Adventure. Is.
Very.
My mother's not dangerous. Dangerous.
My.
Mother.
Adventure. Is.
Very.
Dangerous.
And
My.
mother.
Will. Exciting. Adventure. Is.
Very.
Dangerous.
And
My.
mother.
Will. Not. Dangerous. Exciting. Adventure. Is.
Very.
Dangerous.
And
My.
mother.
Will. Not.
Stop.
Exciting. Adventure. Is.
Very.
Dangerous.
And
My.
amazing. Mother.
Will. Not.
Stop talking. Huh? this time we're going to end with this thing called story. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to point to people, and they talk when the pointer's on them. When the pointer's not on them, they don't talk, but they got to pick up where the last person left off. Once upon a time there was a big, mean man walking down the street.
And he walked over all the children.
And the children said, "Don't walk over us, big mean man." And the man said, "You can't tell me what to do.
I'm the biggest man in town, and I rule this.
Well, then I'll rule everyone."
Once upon a time there was a mystic creature. Once upon a time there was a
tiny little elf. This little elf, he just loved to pick little berries. And he would hide around the place of his
wife, and he would look for other tiny fruit to put in his potion that he would give out to all the little children to make them happy and have.
Once upon a time
There was this little guy, and he was so short, but he was so enthusiastic about being short. He loved being short. He wanted to be the world's shortest guy. And so he would, make his hair really flat so he looked shorter. And he would tell everyone he would make friends with tall people. And so he would look even shorter. He had a world cheer that he would go, "Hey ho, I'm a short little bro." Whoa, I'm short!
a bell that sat on a theater teacher's desk.
Once upon a time
there was this girl I knew back in high school named Sophie. And Sophie had this doll. She was like so obsessed with it. She called it Mary.
And Mary was like the sweetest dog, except
She would go around and bite people sometimes, but it was okay because she was one of the girls, you know what I mean? Only some of the girls, that little.
And the moral of the story is...
Don't be a valley girl enough, dog.
Wow, what amazing performances. Let's give the Gnomes an outstanding choral performance from the Pinehurst another round of applause. I don't know about you, Octavius, but I am blown away by the talents and skills of our student performers this morning.
I agree. Did you get to hear and see the Burke Band outside on your way in, along with the Hot Gap Steel drummers and the Angel Oak Strings? They sure got me excited and energized to be here with you all today. Let's give our pre-show performers a round of applause.
Thanks, everyone. Next, we have the great honor and privilege of introducing an outstanding leader in our community, who not only grew up here right in the Liberty Hill neighborhood that our school sits on today, and has dedicated his life to serving his community, neighbors, and peers, first as Chief of Police and now as Mayor.
It is with great pleasure that we welcome to the stage the City of North Charleston Mayor, Reggie Burgess.
Ooh, wow, I'm kind of surprised about this. I wouldn't do the gnome thing. I like that. But I just want to really thank my Savior for allowing me to wake up this morning. He gave me an opportunity to make a difference, and I thank my Lord Savior. Anita, what can I say? This is my 11th month, and this is what is this for you? Same about yeah. So, you know, I'm not going to be up here long because it's about the children. The young lady and young men stated to you all, this community, Liberty Hill. My mother lives right back there on Nesbitt Avenue. And this was my high school, Barnes Wilson High School. This is the campus that my high school was on. All my life, all I knew was Barnes Wilson High School. My mother went there, my father went there, my wife's mother and my wife's father. Our entire family went there. All I always wanted to do was get to Barnes Wilson. And I did that. And then I moved on to college. But I didn't really realize how important this fertile ground that we're sitting on right now until I actually went to college in Maryland. And I realized then that the only way that I got to college, I had to get through the school system. I'm a proud Charleston County School District graduate. Yes. I love Charleston County. Just like I'm not gonna let anybody let my city or put my city down. I work hard, I grind hard for my city, and I work hard and I'm gonna grind hard for Charleston County School District. We all have issues, I know we do, but it's up to us to make the difference. I once was a child who had detention. I once was a child who actually had ISS, we called it jailhouse back then. I got suspended. I was, a troubled kid in some respects, but my mother and my father wouldn't give up on me. But most importantly, Ethel Reed, Gail Hacker, Ms. Singleton, Ms. Burris, Ms. Verdon, Ms. Alcox, I can name them over and over again. Those teachers never gave up on me. Even when I gave up on myself, they stuck with me. They got me where I needed to be. Without them in the school district, I would have never stood here before you all as the mayor of North Charleston. The only way we're going to help the situation we call violence and issues that's going on in our communities, we've got to fix the homes, people. We got to repair those homes. And one of the biggest things that we have to look at, you look at deprivation and you look at all the factors that causes crime and disorder, one of the main factors is when you give up on education, you give up on life. We got to keep working hard, teachers and administrators. Keep working hard. Keep doing what you're doing. When a kid like me comes before you, think about what Reggie Burgess told you today. Don't give up on them. Work with them. Love on them like you do. Help them up. Pick them up when they're down because it works. So I want to say it to you, Anita. You know, when folks are saying, oh, we don't know, whatever, I mean, that's their opinion. I don't have one vote for a school district, a superintendent. I don't have any. I am willing, like Frederick Douglass said, I stand with nobody who's doing the right thing, but I stand with everybody who's doing the right thing. So if anybody do the wrong thing, I don't stand with them at all, but I stand with anybody that's doing what is right. So as far as I'm concerned, Charleston County School District teachers, administrators, we got your back. God bless you.
One day, a man was walking along the beach when he noticed a boy picking up starfish and throwing them into the ocean. Approaching the boy, he asked, "Excuse me, but what are you doing?" The boy replied, "Throwing starfish back into the ocean. The sun is rising and the tide is going out. If I don't throw them back, they'll die." The man laughed to himself and said, "But there's too many starfish on this beach. You can't possibly make a difference." After listening politely, the boy bent down, picked up another starfish, and threw it into the ocean. Then turning to the man, he said, "I made a difference to that one."
I made a difference to that one. Aren't kids great? Aren't kids great?
Yes. Yes.
Aren't kids great?
Yes.
Thank you for being here today. I'm humbled to see those of you in the crowd. I didn't expect this big of a crowd, but I'm honored that you're here, not for me, but for 51,000 children across our system who are going to need you if we're going to make a difference in Charleston County School District. I want to thank those who sit alongside me on a board who have shown that they are dedicated to student outcomes. If you're a Board of Trustees member or an incoming Board of Trustees member, please stand. I want you to be recognized. Stay standing. Whether you agree with them or not, 100% of the time, I don't either. Whether you agree with them, they serve and they have proven that they are focused on student outcomes. Carlotta Bailey, Leah Watley, newly elected Michelle Lieber, Dr. Carol Temple, Pam McKinney, Keith Grabowski, Fran Klasky, a member of our constituent board, newly elected Kevin Hollenshed, and newly elected Carolina Jewett. Thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting these folks, for great kids, and supporting me. Please be seated. You are a constituent board member. Mr. Klasby, you're going to lead the way. Stand up and be recognized. If you're a constituent board member, Dr. George Temple and Mrs. Pam Klein and Mr. Fran Klasby work endless hours to serve the kids in the constituent districts across this great district. Please recognize them with a round of applause. And if you're an elected official, please stand to be recognized. Councilman Pryor, thank you. I can't see back there. Tell us who you are. Oh, Councilman McBride, I can see you now. And other Councilwoman Rhonda Jerome, Mayor Reggie Burgess, Mayor Will Haney of the city of Mount Pleasant. Please, let's honor them for being here. And there are lots of public servants here today, including principals who lead our schools, including teachers who serve our children, including those in the municipalities who create an ecosystem of support. Please stand and be recognized. Chief Walker, who followed me here with blue lights. Chief Arnold, I saw you too. Please stand and be recognized as giving me and those fearless leaders who do the work of educating children every day, whether you're a principal, an assistant principal, a teacher, please stand and be honored for the great work that you do. know my story, some of you don't. The work here today is not really about me. The work is about sharing with you in a State of the Schools address what great things are going on in the Charleston County School District. Many of you know that, as I shared with some of you over the summer in a CES address, that I tried for a very long time to outrun my assignment, which was to be an educator. I tried it through a lot of different ways. I pretended I knew how to do algorithms in computer science. I pretended all sorts of things, but I finally made my path to a classroom where I was able to serve children. But never in a million years did I believe that I would stand on this stage today after serving on this stage for nearly 2 decades. I know that's hard to believe given I'm only mid-30s. After serving for over almost 3 decades, I never thought that I'd find myself here today standing in front of you, alongside you, as the superintendent of this great district. Albeit not how I ever expected to be a superintendent. I never expected to be a superintendent. Somehow, some way, I found myself here today. And whatever you believe about fate or God, you found your way here today for some reason too. I think our paths here today probably are a lot different. Before we can really talk about the state of our schools in Charleston, I think we need to examine the state of our hearts and our minds. Many of us came here today burdened. We lost a student this week. We are plagued with violence just yesterday in West Ashley. Whether you're experiencing the death of a loved one, conflict in your home, uncertainty about what leads you at school and what you'll see when you get back there, whether you're uncertain about our nation, our communities, we first have to examine the state of who we are and what brought us to the seat here today. And it's kids. It's kids. Regardless of whether you're red, blue, white, green, yellow, black, you're here today because you believe in kids. Craig Logan, you're here today because you believe in kids. Thank you. Let's take a minute and focus our spirit, our hearts and our minds, regardless of the challenges that might have brought you here, what's weighing in your heart today, to focus on the faces of CCSD. Can you play that one, Mike?
Yes, ma'am.
I think there's some music with it, but just hum along. Okay. This is why we do what we do. So I'm happy to share today that the state of Charleston County Schools is thriving. The state of Charleston County Schools, Chief Walker, is thriving. Our classrooms are filled. Our students are achieving at levels they've never achieved. We have a board that's allocated more money in direct supports to schools than we've ever had before. The gains that we've made with children over the course of the last 2 years are unprecedented. But, as all good English teachers throw a conjunction in there, to continue the work, all of us, regardless of what brought us here today, will have to work together. We're fortunate that we have a strong vision laid out by former Superintendent Don Kennedy, who's here today, that is a pillar for excellence, focusing on grade level instruction, quality people, and wraparound services to elevate the achievement of all students. So when you think about kids first, we have to think about their academics and prioritizing that. So in Charleston County, I'm proud to share that the board has focused its energy for the last 2 years on 3 main goals. Reading, I'm going to ask you, Brandon Glaze, next. I'm about to call you out. Reading, math, and college and career readiness. I won't do that, my friend. And because of the focus of great educators in this room, we have made significant progress. Very quickly, looking at grade 5 English language arts results, our goal is to have all students reading on grade level before they leave 3rd grade. But we need to measure that over the course of time, so the goal is around 5th grade, over an 8% increase in just 2 years alone. If kids can't read, they're going to see Chief Walker. They're going to see Chief Arnold. They're going to see Captain Glover, who was here earlier. The focus of this system is and must continue to be elevating the achievement of all students, particularly kids in poverty, those who speak English as a second language, and our special needs students who need it the most. So our board goal is around Black and brown children who have historically been underserved by this system. If we're going to be honest about the system and make a difference, we have to tell the truth. Our new board members will have to tell the truth.
Yes.
You'll see here that when we started measuring very specifically Black and brown children and their progress around literacy, that only 25% of our students in grade 5 were reading on grade level. Who wants that to be their child at home? I don't. I have 3. Think about if that was your child. I'm proud that we've made over 10% gain in just 2 years. It's going to take focus and dedication to continue that progress. The state of the schools in Charleston is thriving. Look at these results. Grades 3 through 8, all students nearly 65%. Again, a 10 percentile increase over 2 years. Those gains don't happen by accident, and they have very little to do with me. Actually, nothing. I taught English a long time ago and retired my red pen. They have to do with you. They have to do with you, Fran, who work with children at the constituent board level. They have to do with you, George, who just listened to an essay from a student who was being readmitted to school. They have to do with you, Michael, who serves in an alternative setting and gets students ready to go back. This starts with you. Again, we have to tell the truth. We can pretend all students are reading that 60% of all student groups are reading, but they're not. But I'm encouraged, again, thanks to the vision of those who came before me, at the progress we're making around Black and brown students. If you see here, we see an upward trend for African American students specifically, but in the last year, as we talk later today, we saw a decline in the Hispanic students. But we are narrowing the gap with groups of children, again, due to the concerted efforts of teachers and leaders in our classroom. Goal 2 is around math. getting more students ready for Algebra 1 in the 8th grade, if they're ready, and making sure they're successful. Over the course of the last 2 years, we've seen a 6% increase in students in the 8th grade achieving success in Algebra 1, a C or higher. This doesn't look like a big gain, but when the denominator is all 8th graders, it's a significant gain. You'll see here grades 3 through 8, math, over nearly a 5% increase. The state of the schools in Charleston is thriving. Mathematics, you'll see a similar challenge with students of color. I'm proud that we're closing the gap, but not nearly quickly enough. This will be a lot of my work with the new board on allocating resources to ensure that all students, regardless of where they live, whether they live in Mayor Haney's jurisdiction or Mayor Burgess's jurisdiction or Mayor Cogswell's jurisdiction or Mayor Hayward's jurisdiction, they have what they need to be successful. Goal 3, college and career readiness. We've made significant strides here, over 10 percentage point gain of students ready to leave our system in some way, either workforce ready, military ready, college ready. We're doing better. But until that number hits 100%, as chair of the board, you won't be satisfied, will you, Mr. Grabowski?
I will not.
So 10% gain, and look at here. I think that deserves a round of applause. We're finally closing the gap, getting students ready for whatever they want to do next. We're finally closing the gap. Over the course of the last 2 years, nearly 20% makeup in students ready. You never thought that was possible, did you, Don? Thanks for your vision, Don. Thanks for your vision. Students graduating more than ever before. Most importantly, they have to be ready. We're most particularly proud of the gains we're seeing here in regards to college and career readiness with pupils in poverty, students with disabilities, and multilingual learners. You'll see significant gains there over the course of the last several years. Increases in all student groups. That doesn't happen by accident. If you're a principal in this room, you're responsible for that. If you're a teacher in this room, you're responsible for that. Thank you for your commitment to this. You'll see the same things with race. Again, beginning to close the gap, not nearly as quickly as we should or we can. But I believe that we will. Fortunately, people are starting to call from off. It's really strange that they're calling me from off, wanting to know how we're doing it. How are you doing it? Well, it has nothing to do with me, but I'm happy to tell you that it has to do with a system that's focused on kids, not adults. And that makes people angry sometimes. That makes people angry sometimes. Some of you may be mad with me now. I hope not. I like everybody to be happy. Most of you who've known me for nearly 30 years know that. And if you're not happy, I'll typically find you and try to make you happy. But systems, results like this don't happen by accident. They happen when leaders are focused on a few things and doing it well. And this is what we focused our time on. Instructional framework, thanks to Michelle Simmons and Luke Clamp and the work of principals. What we teach and how we teach it. Data-driven instruction, thanks to the leadership of the associates, primarily spearheaded by Dr. Joe Williams, who couldn't be here today. Focused on restorative practices and building relationships with kids. That's what that's all about. Climates that are conducive for learning. And coaching around what to look for and what to do when teachers need support helping our most vulnerable. This work wouldn't be possible without leaders in our buildings that are committed and focused on these 4 things. And here's one of them.
Our principals guide us creating strategies that put student success at the center.
Miss Malone is a great principal. She makes you feel loved and appreciated every time you walk into the building. You're getting greeted and you're getting a hug.
Sanders Clyde, for the first time in its history, is 1 point from being good on the South Carolina report card. It's due to leaders like Janice who are focused on kids, who love kids. Janice makes a bunch of people mad every morning. She calls houses every day, Chief Arnold. Chief Walker, I'm surprised they ain't called you and the police on her. She calls, and I shared this with principals, she calls every home, 29401, every morning and says, get up. It's time to come to school. And Janice, how much has your chronic absenteeism dropped? At Sanders Clyde on the peninsula, Janice's chronic absenteeism today is less than some schools in Mount Pleasant, 9%. Let's give her a round of applause. So the state of our schools is thriving. In the last year, we've obtained COGNI accreditation, which is an international accreditation, largely due to the work of Buffy Roberts, principals, Michelle Simmons, and teams that have really kept us focused on our work. We've earned NACE accreditation with our youngest students and in our youngest schools. We focus around the clock on student data reviews ad nauseum for principals. I know they say they like it, but they don't really. We focus with academic council on the problem and fixing it. Because I've been around a long time. I got tired of talking a long time ago. And if talking about the problem was going to make it better, as my mama would have said, you'd have done fixed it. So in our hour-long meetings, we spend 10 minutes talking about the why, and we spend 50 figuring it out. And that's what this system needs in every classroom, in every building, across this district to make a difference. Action aligned with the vision and consistent student outcomes, progress monitoring to see when kids need better. So first, kids are always first and have to be first around academics. But secondly, kids have to be first when we think about access and opportunity. I'm thrilled at the work of the secondary learning community, Rich Gordon, Sherry Epplesheimer, Ryan Comeback, and the great talented principals we have leading our high schools, some of the biggest in the state across this district. We have 51 CTE instructional programs across a wide variety of careers, over 2,000 student concentrators, over 1,000 completers, 6,000 recognized certifications and credentials earned in the last year, over 7,000 work-based learning experiences with 6,800 student enrollments in PLTW, and now we're offering paid apprenticeships to kids who never would have gotten them before. Access and opportunity are critical to student success. And you have to think about access and opportunity from my perspective, where kids hadn't always had it. Particularly in North Charleston, from which a third of our students come. A lot of folks may have thought that some of the efforts from the North Charleston City Council made me mad. They really didn't. They told the truth. They told the truth. We have to tell the truth. So Mayor Burgess and Mayor-elect Burgess and I at the time, and Mayor Summey came together and asked the Honorable Councilman Henry Darby to lead a team focused on what makes things better for a third of the students in Charleston County School District. What does access and opportunity look like? And we've just gotten from that team, a list of recommendations that I've generally reviewed with the board, but I'll be discussing with the new board as we look forward about how we make things better for all kids. Drilling down to that level of specificity is critically important in all of our communities, though. We have as many students at Wando, for example, Chaz, that are pupils in poverty, than we have altogether in some of our smaller high schools. So ensuring this granular level of examination is across the system will be integral to ensuring student success. We've also assured, thanks to an excellent chief of HR and a very equipped CFO who I only understand about every fifth word he says, we've really focused on HR, our human resources, and thought more strategically about how we utilize them. For the first time in the history of this district, or as long as I've been around, which is getting to be a long time, Councilman Pryor, we started school with no vacancies in our classrooms. That deserves a round of applause. Because all of our students do not look like me, Bill and his team have created diverse pathways to attract people of all nationalities to our classrooms to pour into our children. We have thought really creatively about how we work, particularly with our MLL populations, the leadership of Paul Pelagi. Ooh. Is everybody else hearing bells? Because if not, I'm in trouble. And I hope the bells are a good sign. We're thinking more thoughtfully than ever before about how we educate MLLs. I want to thank Lydia Cotton. Lydia, where are you? I saw you come in, I believe. Lydia is a community activist who works closely with us at Pinehurst and our International Welcome Center and our Newcomer Center, ensuring kids have access. So Lydia, thank you for your work and for being here today. Thank you. It's the great work of activists like Lydia and advocates like Lydia who are making a difference in our schools. So Bill and his team have thought creatively about partnering with institutes of higher ed to create residency programs to better serve kids. And we thought about career ladders and how to get teaching assistants and other professionals who want to be educators out of the classroom to serve kids. Because clearly, if they didn't love kids, most of them, they wouldn't be in our schools. So we have afforded more access and opportunity as we focused on our human resources. And thanks to Kim Foxworth and the vision of the board and of prior superintendents, we've expanded early childhood. But until early childhood is universal, like Mayor Burgess said, we're going to have challenges getting kids ready and helping kids be successful. Folks face things that my children at home don't face. And until we are able to fix homes and work through early childhood, we can't make the biggest difference. And it's what I told the legislative delegation when I met with them yesterday. You need to do something in Columbia to help us expand early childhood to universally offer it to all. We've also created more access and opportunity because we've prioritized spending. I want to publicly thank the CFO and his team, many of whom are here today, for their creative work on the FY25 budget. If you didn't read today's paper, yes, students in the audience, this is a paper. It's a hard copy of a paper. On the front page above the fold, where you typically don't want to be, you find detailed the work at Stall, Pinehurst, and Lucy Beckham High School around the weighted student funding formula. $32.8 million went from cutting administrative costs, which was not popular and did not win me Miss Congeniality, back to schools, back to classrooms, where creative thinkers like Anna Dassing and Steve Larson and Paul Pelagi are making a difference for kids. We also, thanks to the vision of our board, we were able to raise teacher pay $8,000 to be the highest paid school district in the state, and we hope to get that to 60,000, Mr. Grabowski, newly elected board members in the new school year. How's that for putting you on the spot, sir? Thankfully, we were also able to raise classified staff compensation, and I know we've responded to the feedback from principals to get them more to where they need to be in order to earn a livable wage, but we're continuing to work on that. So as we think about access and opportunity, we have to do these system-wide strategic things, board, to make sure that we set students up for success. So first, again, thinking about kids first. These are my notes. Sorry, I just showed my cheat sheet. Academics, access and opportunity, and student well-being. If we're not well, if our state is not well, kids are not well. If kids are not well, they cannot learn. I'm proud that
Our support staff offers a listening ear and a steady presence, helping create a safe and inclusive environment for students to thrive.
I really like how Mr. Tamari runs all the clubs and stuff, and he's going to the practices, going to the games, and he's running the STEM club and running track.
So we have people in our schools who make sure that our kids are well. Many of them are seated in here now. For kids to be able to achieve at the level commensurate with their ability, their God-given ability, they have to be well. The system, the state of our schools now is thriving around student well-being. We ask students, how much support do the adults at your school give you? 18% increase in responses that say, we have people like the counselor on the prior screen who pour into children. 91% of students in grades 3 through 5 recently told us, and 87 in grades 6 through 12, and you know they don't even like to take a survey, that they feel well supported through the relationships they have at school. Student well-being is key to student success. But although the system and the state of our schools is well and it's thriving, we have a lot of work left to do. And I wouldn't be telling the truth if I said we didn't. And I tried to hide the data to make people think that we didn't. And I told you to hide the data and forget the strategies and pretend that we don't, because we do. So in the theme of the starfish, the 5 prongs, there are 5 focus areas that we're doing something about, and we're doing it now. 1 is with multilingual learners. I heard you loud and clear, principals. Teacher roundtable, I heard you loud and clear. We have to do more in this system, Lydia, to serve multilingual learners. And so,
Our school district is united in its mission of ensuring each student has the tools and resources necessary to support each and every student's needs.
Cuando llegué aquí a los Estados Unidos, tenía miedo de que sentirme rechazada, no sentirme yo misma hacia los demás, que los demás no me hicieran sentir en casa, no poder ser yo misma. Cuando llegué aquí a Arby's Newcomer Center, ellos me hicieron sentir en casa, ellos me hicieron sentir como en familia.
And so, while we have the International Welcome Center and we have the Newcomer Center, and we're doing great work with MLs, that is the only student group in our system that saw decline last year. We have so much work that we have to do, and the system has to provide the resources. And I want to thank the board that when I went to them recently and said, we have to do more, the first question was, well, what do you need? So since they asked, we advertised for 40 TAs who are bilingual. And just last week, we sent people to Texas and Florida and bring people home to teach. Look at the data. Last year, almost 3,000 CCSD multilingual learners did not meet their language proficiency goal on the access test. I don't care how they got here. Should you? They're here. And it's our job to serve them. It's our job to serve. And to take this system to where it is destined to be, and it is destined to be there whether I'm your superintendent or not. This is the work at hand. So here's what we're doing. Because again, if talking was going to fix it, it done be fixed. Recruit bilingual and multilingual staff members, 40. Mr. Prentice only turned red for a short period of time when I said, would you find the money, please? And he just kind of looked at me and said, we ain't got it. But I said, you can find it. Shifting our mindset. Today, just today, it's hard to believe that after this session, principals and teachers who are with them will embark on a brief training session with Dr. Rush and folks to learn more about the law and 2 or 3 big strategies that everybody can do, because it's all of our jobs. It's my job too, to educate kids. So we're doing these things in real time. Fortifying classrooms. We have short-term plans and long-term plans, because if you don't, you never go anywhere. Dr. Rush is working on a viable curriculum. I think Ms. Simmons may have an email, in fact, in my inbox asking me for money to pay for it. The answer is yes, Ms. Simmons. We'll find the money. Right, Mr. Prentice?
That's right.
That's right. Good answer, Mr. Prentice. Woo, Mr. Prentice. And Bill and his team are working with institutes of higher learning to figure out a way to make it easier in this state for people to get certified to teach. So, we have an issue, and we've got to solve it. God bless you, sis. Number 2, we've got to do more to meet the needs of special education students, particularly behavior in our schools. I've heard it loud and clearly from principals. Behavior is an issue with our students. Not only is behavior an issue with our special needs students, many of them, but also achievement is. Look at the red. While we've made gains, we've not made enough. While we're doing great things and we have lots to celebrate, there's more work to do. Almost 1,500 special ed students who took SC Ready did not meet. Do you want that to be your kid? I don't. So together we can, and together we will. If you don't know it yet, principals, those of you who have told me you have needs in special ed, Mr. Prentice somehow, the little elves came at night and left shoes with cash in it. We're working with Sherry Bell to get more people in your schools to help. They're coming. They're coming. I have faith. We're going to find them. So if you haven't heard from Sherry Bell yet, don't email her right now, but email her. We're providing resources sooner than later to help you, just like with MLLs. We're working with external service providers, ABA therapists, to try to come in, pending legal approval, Mr. Johnson, to try to come in and help serve our children. Long term, we're going to look to reduce class sizes for special needs students and give additional support. But the second leg of that starfish for right now involves the support of special needs children. As we think about access and opportunity, number 3, we have to do more to give kids access to our centers for advanced studies. They're beautiful buildings. They are filled with wonderful people. One drives from Loris, my hometown, every single day to teach auto mechanics. He probably did work on one of my cars while I was up there, who knows. Even at Wando, 1,200 students, Chaz, is that right? Where are you? I saw you a while ago. I'm trying to look over your head, but now I see you. 1,200 students at the East Cooper CAS or Wando. Anna, where are you? Anna, only 200 go from Beckham. So of the nearly 1,500 kids that access the East or CAS, 1,200 are from Wando, where it sits, and 2 of them are from Beckham, down the road a piece. And it's our most populated center. We have significant challenges here in North Charleston with B. Brown, who's a brilliant leader. And in West Ashley with Dale Metzger, who equally prioritizes kids. So we have lots of opportunity, and we're figuring it out. It might not make everybody happy how we figure it out, but it's about kids. So if you have a passion around that and you have ideas, I've met on this about 5 times, and I can't figure it out. You're a lot smarter than I am. If you have ideas about how to make this better, please email me. I read all my emails. Now, I might write you back at 1 a.m., but if you have an idea, I need you to help. We need you. Our kids who need access the most don't have it. So leg 3 is around access and opportunity for our centers for advanced studies. Leg 4, Dr. Coakley, who is a wonderful leader, is leading the charge around reconfiguring our alternative programs. Number 4, Corey Shaw, Michael DeYoung, Corey McDonald. They told me last year, principals told me, we've got a problem with our alternative schools, Anita. We're still operating like 3 decades ago when you were 15. So in January, TPA will launch at James Island Middle so that we can expand services to kids who have an addiction problem. Mr. DeYoung has done a remarkable job growing that program. And over the course of the next 2 to 3 years, Dr. Coakley is working with principals to rethink, refocus, and reimagine how we serve kids who have challenges. Next, I forgot what leg this was of the starfishes. It's 4 or 5. Who's counting? Are you paying attention, Judy? Okay, number 5. Lastly, I talked a little bit about continuing to expand early childhood offerings. It simply is a necessity. Around student well-being, I think y'all lied to me over there. That was 4. This is 5. I didn't teach math, so it's not my strong suit, although I'm normally pretty proficient with single digits. I don't know what happened to me there. Lastly, again, MLL, special needs, centers for advanced studies, alternative programs, and lastly, student well-being. We have to do more. Children are coming plagued with so much more trauma than we had when we grew up, Mayor Burgess. Or maybe we just know more about it now. And I'm thankful that we do, because it gives us the opportunity to do, not just talk, but to do. Classroom instructional skills, small group instruction, counseling for trauma, identification of students early on, and powerful new community partnerships that we're forging with the city and the town to make sure students are well served. I'm proud that Lisa Allison and her team are launching a Listening to Understand campaign to make sure we know when students need us. Students tell us they want people to understand them. They tell us that. I want people to understand me, although that's very complex and I don't know that any of you want to. But kids want us to be able to understand. And so if we're going to take this system to the next level, a continued focus on achievement, a continued focus on academics inside and outside of our classroom, well-being, access, and opportunity are so critically important, but we have to do more around these 5 areas, and we have to do it now. So while the state of these schools is thriving, what state will it take for us as action-oriented leaders to do these things and do them well? One, I believe it will take sanctifying class time and being student-centered. LaToya Smith, I don't want to embarrass her. She's a brilliant leader. She was a very successful AP over there with Tim Sullivan, which is really hard to believe if you know Tim. Right, Tim? transitioned to North Charleston Creative Arts, where she's serving students that look a little bit differently. She said to me in her SDR, you know, Anita, we spent so much time building culture. We were pulling kids from this, we were pulling kids from that, and it changed our culture, which we needed, but it's going to take something else to ensure we get off the list. So kids have to be in class. As upset as some people may be, we're not doing X, Y, and Z. As upset as some adults are, kids are in class. It's going to take kids in class in front of teachers who love them and who are challenging them and who believe they can and they will to take the system to the next level. T, it's going to take bold action. Not talk, but action. I shared with principals last month that I don't want to embarrass any principal, but I'm going to call her out. Latrice Smalls, the principal at Frierson that went from unsatisfactory to excellent in just 1 year, has taken Where are you, Latrice? I'm glad you're here, sister. Yes, ma'am. It's going to take action focused on kids that's bold. She had folks say, here's what we want. Here's what you need to go to the district and tell the district they need to give us. She came to the district and said, I'm prioritizing kids and I'm adding classes for instruction. Now, that's what kids need. It's going to take bold action. It's going to say saying no to some things that are adult motivated. And I know we all like adults to feel good, Lord, I do. It's going to take saying no and saying yes to what's a little more challenging. It's going to take boldness. It's going to take reimagining these alternative programs. That's bold. We're starting a conversation, and just to brief the board on start times in districts 9, 10, and 23. Lots of people think that's going to be easy, folks. That ain't going to be easy. That's going to be real hard. After community engagement, if the decision is to make uniform the start times in this school district, that ain't going to be easy. It's going to make a lot of people mad. I'm going to be not below the fold, Councilman. I'm going to be above the fold, and that ain't a fun place to be. You know what I'm saying? You ain't been there before, have you?
All the time.
All the time, that's what I'm talking. It's going to take bold action if we really think it's right for kids. A, it's going to take accelerating growth by accommodating learners. Accelerating growth by accommodating learners. What Paul Pelagi's done at Pinehurst is near miraculous. He has significantly elevated the growth and achievement of kids that come here and can't speak a lick, as my granny would say, of English, to get them reading where they need to be. And he said, we will be good on that state report card next year. It's going to take thinking about things differently and rapidly accelerating growth to the greatest that we can while accommodating kids who need accommodations. T is going to take thinking outside of the box. Brian Coleman is one of the most creative thinkers in the system. He's recently launched, if I recall correctly from his SDRs, some sort of acceleration team that goes and sprinkles pixie dust and does all sort of miraculous things for kids. It's going to take thinking like Stephen Thomas at, where you at, Stephen? St. Andrews Math and Science, who says all kids are gifted at least one day a week. All kids, whether you can read or not. It's going to take different kind of thinking than we've ever done before. Board, it's going to take a different kind of thinking than you did the last time, than we've done before, than we've done the last 2 years, if we're really going to elevate the achievement of kids. And lastly, it's going to take eliminating barriers and empowering students. Masterful at that is Henry Darby, who has worked to turn around an underperforming school that's been underperforming for as long as I can remember, by offering MLL pods and learning at lunch sessions and different ways to think about credit recovery, and he's finally got that school moving on up. But he's done so by empowering kids and eliminating barriers. He doesn't know I know it, but somebody called me and said, some crazy man standing outside on the street waving his arm telling them children to get to class before the bell rings. And I said, that's Mr. Darby. He's telling people, he's speaking the truth into people and eliminating reasons that kids can't be there. So while we are thriving, I certainly don't want where we are now to be the pinnacle of our success. That don't have nothing to do with me. I love kids. You do too. If you didn't, you wouldn't be here. It is genuinely going to take thinking about things differently, being mad one day and happy the next, and figuring it out. And that's not going to be easy, board. We're going to have to do it together. Constituent board, it's not going to be easy. Chief Walker, Mayor Haney, it ain't going to be easy. But I believe we can, one starfish at a time.
John. What's going on? Can I ask a question about tonight's homework?
Of course. Whatever it takes. One starfish at a time. Thank you.
Thank you to our superintendent for that.
It's our pleasure and honor to welcome to the stage the E.B. Ellington Singing Eagles performing musical medley under the direction of Miss Iris Brown, followed by the St. James Santee Elementary School Student Ensemble under the direction of Miss Heather Simon performing Thanks to You.
You got a little, while the next group comes on. I think you spoke to somebody, friend, today. Who's that?
Miss Coco, Old Vice Principal.
What's her name?
Miss Cloak.
You miss her?
Yeah.
They love her at dance, though. She went to another school. Can you believe that?
Well, then,
It's way more believable than I think. Did you see somebody else you know?
oh yeah, Chris is out. I was looking for him when we saw him. I was like, is he at the top or there?
He's hard to find. I look for him sometimes. I can't find him either. He's a little bit tricky.
Yeah.
Listen, you did great out here. You did fantastic. What do you like about school?
Yeah.
You do. I'm gonna let you go now. I'm sorry I called you out. I hope they didn't leave you. Oh, no, I was saying this, and I should have said it, That's what made me stop. Now, come on.
Anita, we need the mic back.
This is a tough act to follow. Let's give them a big round of applause. Super job. Why do I have to follow these children? A lot of what I'm saying you've heard from our wonderful superintendent. Let's give her another big round of applause. It's good afternoon now. So good afternoon. Today, again, I want to remind us, reiterate, as she said, why we are here. Why we do what we do. I want to remind you again of the story you saw this morning. You've heard hundreds of times, but it's still yet powerful. Our superintendent shared it with us at the beginning of the year, and you've seen the video again. And she's gifted us with a silver starfish as a reminder. And many of us know that story of the starfish on the shore. One of her young boys you saw was walking along the beach, throwing stranded starfish back into the ocean. When someone tells him there are miles and miles of beach and hundreds of starfish, you can't possibly make a difference. The boy picks up another starfish and throws it back and says, "I made a difference for that one." Each of us is here because we believe in that starfish, those starfish. In a lot of cases, and mine, maybe some of yours too, I was that starfish. You may have been that starfish. If it were not for special people in my life along the way, believing in me when I didn't know what to believe for myself, I would not be where I am today. We have to believe in that starfish and our starfish. We have to believe that every child, every student who walks through our doors, no matter where they come from, what burdens they may carry, no matter what trauma or challenges they may face on a daily basis, deserves a chance to thrive. They all deserve an opportunity to explore, to grow, and to discover the boundless possibilities that their future holds. We are here because each child, each student matters. We are here to stand in that gap and to be the positive, steady adult that changes the trajectory of life. This isn't a light responsibility, but it is one that we are privileged to carry. Look around you. Each of us has a role. The superintendent, administrators, instructional coaches, teachers, support staff. Every person in this room has a purpose woven into their why. And that why always circles back to the children we serve. They are the reason I keep pushing forward. The reason you should keep pushing forward, despite the challenges and setbacks. And Lord knows there are many. Because we know, like that starfish, every small action we take, every word of encouragement, every morning phone call, every class-filled message, every restorative practice, every home visit, every late afternoon tutoring, mentoring, every minute spent makes a difference, more than you or I will ever know. I'm asking each of us to keep gazing at those starfish, to see not only what is, but what could be. Instead of looking at the risks, let us look at the promises in every student, every scholar. Is it easy? No, it never will be. Is it worth it? It always is. Let us envision the potential of each student and commit every day to helping them shine a little brighter because of us. We may not see the full outcome of our work immediately, but trust the light you are kindling in each child's, each scholar's life will go on to burn bright for years to come. Together, we are creating an environment, a place where they feel seen, valued, and capable of greatness. We are teaching them to believe in themselves, showing them that no matter where they come from, what they look like, they deserve a future filled with possibilities. I want to thank you for choosing day after day to put children first, because every child, every starfish, with our starfish, we are changing the world. And because of us, the world will no doubt be a better place. Thank you.
Thank you for being here today. We really want to thank the students who are here, student body presidents are here. I want to thank these two wonderful young adults who helped lead our student bodies for being our MCs. I want to thank the communications team for all they did to put together this grand event. Vanessa Denny, Lauren Handy, Maggie Dangerfield, a whole host of folks had a whole lot to do with today. So thank you for being here. Thank you for loving our children. We hope you have a great afternoon, and let us know if we think what we can do to help you support our starfish. Thank you.